Howdy. Today we're talking philosophy and Plato, the philosophy of human perception, the Republic, the 375 BCE-ish book, manuscript by Plato, the seventh book, the Allegory of the Cave. Pretty interesting story. I wasn't familiar with it till recently. My mom told me about it. It's not like I was rummaging through million-year-old manuscripts and stumbled across it. It would probably be worth a couple bones if I did. But it's really relevant. When I made myself familiar with it, when I educated myself on the story, I've seen the movie, I've I've read the book, I've watched the television show. It's about growth and, you know, seeing the light, ascending out of darkness into light. But okay, I'll stop with my uh, comps, my comparisons, and give you a shortened version. It's not a long story, but so there's this cave. It's down. You've got to visualize the down in a cave, down inside in the darkness, where these people have been chained for their entire lives. They've known nothing but the darkness. Okay, they've been chained around their neck, around their feet. They're shackled together, sitting down. They can't look behind them. They can't get up, can't move around. All they can do is stare straight ahead, straight forward. Don't look at nothing else. Just look at that wall. Look over there. Behind them, elevated, is a big fire, a big roaring fire. And between the prisoners and the fire, these guards will walk through with little statuettes and figurines and cutouts of some sort. I don't think they had cardboard back then, but you get it. Shadow puppets, more or less. And these prisoners would sit there and, oh, that's a this and that's a that, and no, you're wrong. I'm right. No, you're wrong. I'm way smarter than you. I know way more than you, dude. You're wrong. I'm right. It became competitive. They had nothing else to do. But also, it became their reality. They knew nothing else. They knew this was their life. This, there was no other way to perceive this than reality. That's all they knew was these shadows, so much that they were real. The shadows were real. That's all they ever knew. So one day, this prison guard, or whatever you want to call him, this guard of the cave, frees one of the guys. And of course, the guy tries to stand. He's on shaky ground, obviously. Atrophy, I'm sure, set in at some point, and his legs didn't work great, nor did his eyes, because the first thing, his gut reaction was to see the light, just like all of ours is. We want the light. We want to peek behind the curtain, like the Wizard of Oz. But he can't really focus on the light. He's got to kind of cover his eyes. He can only barely look up there because his eyes haven't adjusted. He's he's only known the shadows and the darkness, And to get a glimpse at the light was painful. It hurt, just like it is when you see the truth these days. It gets a little painful when you realize the wool's been pulled over the eyes. This prison guard whispers in the guy's ear, "It's privilege." Imagine the guy's stomach at that point in time. I'm sure he got a little bit of anxiety, you know. What 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 would you do if somebody said that to you? You know, your whole world is an illusion. Anyway, the guy really doesn't know what to do. His whole world has just been broken by this prison guard. The prison guard said, "Oh, there's more, dude. Come on." He drags this guy up. There's an ascent. You've got to think of the symbolism in this story. He's ascending out of darkness and into the light. He's growing mentally, spiritually. And the guard drops him outside. He's now in the sun. Dude can't walk or really see. It's the sunlight outside. The sun, that big bright ball of fire that gives us life. That thing that makes the world go around. Thing that grows our food. Anyway, the guy crawling around, because obviously his legs don't work very well. He starts to make out certain colors and imagine the beauty. Imagine the beauty of seeing green grass for the first time, the green of the grass. I'm colorblind, but I can still see the beauty of green. I can see it. The leaves on a tree, the leaves when they change colors, water, rivers, streams, animals, seeing animals. He sees some water dwelling, water holding object. I can't get the words right at this point. A stream, a river, a lake, a pond, a puddle, a water. Some water. You get what I'm saying? Okay. And he can see some reflections. Animals, trees, but the sky. He sees the sky in the reflection. And that's when he begins to look up. He can't look directly at the sun yet, but he can see the reflection of it. And that's close enough. He already knows what it is and what it does. He figures it all out. He figures out that big ball of fire is what creates all the life. Because he had never seen it before in the cave. And now that he sees the light, just this whole flood of thought captures his mind. He gets deep thinking about his whole life of a lie and the way the wool has been pulled over his eyes and his brother's eyes. Not saying they're all brothers. Or sisters, whatever. The other dudes in the cave. And of course, he's out there long enough to see the night, the moon, the stars. It would have been so clear back in 375 BCE. He could have probably saw Jupiter, maybe, in the night sky. Could you imagine how far you could see before there was ambient light and smog and city garbage, pollutants clouding our atmosphere? But his thought, of course, was for the others in the cave. Of course, why wouldn't you think of them? When you see the light, you want to help and lead others to the light. So he finds his way back to the cave. But now his eyes are adjusted to the light. Now he's seen the light. Now he's awakened. Well, he has to slink back down this cave. I'm sure his legs are still messed up. And he doesn't do very well because now he's in the dark and he's seen the light. He's not adjusted for the darkness. So when he finally makes it down to the bottom, his knees are all gashed up and busted his toe. He's holding his toe. Oh, man, my toe. And everybody's laughing at him. Like, you fool. You should have never left. You should have never went saw that. But he's so excited to tell his brothers, like, man, you won't believe what I saw up there, dude. This is nothing down here. The real deal's up there. Come on. And they say, no, 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 no. You're a liar. You're crazy. Why would we leave this? You don't make any sense. You're nuts. You don't know what you're talking about. You're lying. Well, it goes so far, these people unwilling to see the light and enlighten themselves. It goes so far, they plot the guy's death. They plot to kill him because he's trying to educate them and enlighten them. That's where the story ends. It's a weird, like, cliffhangy type of ending. But the reason this is relevant today is because you got to think about these puppeteers, these wool puller overs, and how they mm, how they translate in today's society. Who would you think would be the people who were the puppeteers? Who would they be? I mean, we all have TVs. We all have cell phones. We all have this. We all have that. We all have it. We all have always had it. But they're just selling the illusion, just like those guards, man. They're all selling the illusion. Buy this car and you'll get this chick. Rent this suit and you'll get that job. Open an account here and your money will explode into more money. That's media, but we've also got our politicians, our our actual media, not advertising media companies, but like corporations, even our school teachers. They're all only giving us a little piece of the information. They're all pulling wool over our eyes. We need a big awakening. We need a lot of people to wake up. But it's painful, man. It's painful and it's hard. You can only give somebody a piece of information, and then you have to let them dig in and want more. You can't try to change someone's whole perception at once, at one time. You cannot do that. They will they won't like it. It will become a fight. You can debate any moral person and if they truly seek enlightenment and they truly seek answers to questions, they're not going to stop until they get them. It's why I started this channel. The chains change. Because when a link is just a link, it's a lone, solitary circle. But when it's surrounded by other like minded, similar objects, it becomes a chain capable of wrapping around the world, capable of moving mountains, dragging trains, planes, and automobiles. I just want an open forum. I want to bring questions to the table to shed light in the darkest places and have discussions. I'm only asking the questions. I expect other people to question me, to educate me, because I will do my part to ask any question I can and to enlighten anyone I can. But I merely ask everyone to ask everyone. Sounds like a half of a sentence, but I want everybody to ask. Ask why. Ask where. Ask when. Ask how. Ask who. And tell me the answers. Or at least open it for a discussion. We can't have the closed mindedness. We have to open our minds. We have to open our hearts. The world is a strange place. What does Morbius say to Neo? He said, right, the reason I bring up the quote is because the Matrix is basically the allegory of the cave in modern time. The Truman Show. There's all kinds of movies that it's basically the allegory of the cave. But Morbius says, remember, all I am offering is the truth, nothing more. And that is so fitting for this story. It's perfect. I'm just trying to throw a little bit of truth out there so I can get people to tell me their truth, and so on and so forth. You see, chains go for a long way, and chains still exist, no matter what anybody tells you. We're all still chained. But if we're going to be chained, we might as well be headed in the same direction. That way we can make a change. I'll leave it there. Thank you.